Hello, welcome to iPlay. Do you want to make invincible peace, love, and awesomeness in your life? Yes? Welcome to iPlay. My name is Tabitha Jasper, and I am co-hosting our tonight's webcast. Oh my gosh, it's a Wednesday. I want to give you all a big shout out for changing your times, changing your days, changing your calendars around, and coming up tonight on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. And I want to apologize ahead on behalf of James and I for changing that up on you, but I appreciate you all for being here. So let's get started. You know what? I really want to start tonight off with a story because tonight's topic is huge. It's my favorite topic of them all. Tonight's topic is all based on one thing, and that's making awesomeness invincible in your life. So I really want to start off on a story back a couple years ago when I was still building up this brand of peace, love, and awesomeness. Now, here's the thing. At the time, I was working a 9 till 6 job. The job thing. Did I just say the word job? Even they had me working Saturdays. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a mom. I have 2 beautiful growing children, and I was working full time. And understandably, that's just what we do, right? I say wrong. I say, let's not concern ourselves every day with the I can't even say the word anymore. Job. But this is most people's reality, you know, and this was my reality. And in order to get through the day, you know, missing my kids, frantically searching for a babysitter if I had to be called into work, frantically searching for somebody to fill in my place during parent-teacher interviews, going to see a concert because I just would not make it on time, watching my kids' concert on a videotape, missing Saturdays with them. That was not living. By the time I was home, it was 7 o'clock in the evening, and I got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half with my children if I was really stretching it. But what kind of condition was I in? I was exhausted. I was hungry, and I was cranky, and I was not the mom that I always wanted to be, right? So here I am, I'm working this job, and I've got this boss, and as I struggle to say the words. You know, I heard something one time. People don't quit their jobs, they quit their boss, right? And at this time in my life, I had a wonderful boss who no longer became my boss. Somebody else filled in. We had a new boss, and this new boss told me to be less of myself. So the one last thing I had that I was holding on to, this sprightly little being with all this miles of energy that was welcomed before with this old manager, this new manager said, no, thank you. You must be less you. So the one thing I had to hold on to was me. The drive to work and the drive home. And I developed a new system. I said, you know what? I've got no control. But damn if I'll be unhappy in my life. I got in my car, started her up, turned on the music, brought out my little spirit fingers, and I started to dance. And I created a new system. I would go to work and I would car dance. You know, like maybe not with 2-handed car dance. I would have like one hand on the steering wheel, or, you know, maybe I'd let go if I was like, you know, at stop sign, safety first, people. Okay. But it was car dance to work and car dance home. And it was mine. It was all I had left, and it was mine. And that's when I developed the word awesomeness. And I realized that we do have control. We can't always help what happens to us. Okay, we can't fix the fact that you know, that this world has been wrapped around this whole idea of money and going to work to achieve bringing money home, to pay for the bills, to pay for the lifestyle that we live. Okay, we can control the way we respond. And I chose to respond with, whatever, I'm going to car dance. Woo! Car dance all the way to work. And I had this one day where I just was so fed up. I was getting sick every day from the stress, from the lifestyle. And I got in my car and I said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am not going to car dance today. And I started to drive to work. And I got up to the first set of lights. And I looked in my rear view mirror and I saw this guy behind me in his car going like this. And he was giving it. He was like, pumping tune. And I just sat there in my window and I looked at him and I went, he understands what I understand. He doesn't care. Whatever, man. And I just said, thank you. And I turned up my TV and I, whatever. Okay, life can be difficult, but I've got some control here. Well, long story short, kind of. I mean, it's me. I like to talk. Long story short, I did not stay at that job. I did, in fact, quit my boss. And I continued to bring awesomeness to life. And now I am proud to say that it is, in fact, invincible in my life. So now, before we move on, and before I bring out my co-host and my dear friend, my brother, James, I want to tell you a little bit about how we met, because I think that's pretty awesome too. See, James is from California, and I'm from Western Canada. And for some strange reason, the two of us ended up on the same rooftop in the same city, Dallas, Texas, at 2 a.m. in the morning. How did that even occur? How is it even possible that two people from different countries, from different lifestyles, two totally, completely different individuals, showed up on the same rooftop at the same time with the same weird sensation that we had to be there? Well, sure enough, that's exactly what happened. There was my friend, my to-be friend, James, right there with a group of people, and our two groups merged, and the rest is history. And now we have iPlay. I thought that was a pretty epic moment. Hey, James. Pretty awesome. Yeah. So without further ado, I would love to bring out my dear friend, James, the awesome, the epic, James Chipton. Come on out, James.
Yo, what's up? Thank you so much for that introduction. It's great to be here. I just want to honestly thank you for being here. And I know that you understand how important it is for you to be following along with Tabitha and I as we unlock these powers for you. Um, you know, Awesomeness. Okay, so I have to come out and I have to share with you uh, the ticket to awesomeness, right? You want to know. Many people have these different ideas of awesomeness. I'm going to actually lay out for you the 4 pillars of awesomeness. So how you can achieve, right, awesomeness in your wealth, right? So I have to also give you a disclaimer here. Neither Tabitha nor I at all. And we're going to be describing things to you. We're going to be sharing with you stories, methods, formulas, strategies, blueprints. And although these exact formulas and strategies and systems have worked for hundreds of thousands of other people to create incomes and results in their life, I can personally point out to 12 people that I know that have made over $1 million taking this shortcut, listening to these strategies that I'm about to share with you. Um, what is it going to do for you is entirely up to you, my friend. I want to begin by saying, look at all of the people around you. Look at the people that you know today. Look at the people in your life, and how many of them are average, right? And when you see yourself and your actions that you go out and complete every day, and when you look at your results, do they seem average to you? And is this averageness that occurs all across the globe? Is it acceptable, right? So today we're going to say absolutely not being average is not acceptable. We're going to actually show you how to embrace this averageness and release something else so that you can embody awesomeness, my friend. Um, So, my story here and what it is that I'm doing is I actually spend a majority of my time producing music. I'm an electronic dance musician, and here, this is actually my studio right here. I'm inviting you in. um, this is my little like workspace here down here. You can see my gig. This is where the magic takes place. And that's my dream, to always have been to able to give myself enough time, and be able to afford the resources to be able to buy expensive electronic equipment, go on tours, get out in front of people and perform. That's what this has allowed me to be able to do, right? And before, I was always overcome with just like the world, right? The world telling me to be average. So this is actually like deep programming that we're going to have to begin to unwind here as we go along, because there's programming that's written inside from systems from when we were very young, going through the educational system, that we are all taught to be alike and similar to everyone else. And you to unleash this awesomeness, you're going to have to break away from those systems, right? So I broke away actually at a very young age. I started doing the homeschooling right around ninth grade. And I did homeschooling and attended audition only school for the arts in drama, theater, music, and really just pushed myself to go outside of the normal education system and get the kind of learning that was necessary and proper for my soul, right? Um, and what happens when all of these people start acting average, right? Is it's almost like fun just gets sucked out, right? And it's like, okay, I'm following the rules and I'm being normal. What happens is there's actually two things that happens, right? um you know for the bad ones that get stuck being average, right? So what happens is people can become wooden. I don't know if you've ever felt like you've just been like a piece of wood before. Like, I don't know, someone could like knock on you and like get good luck. But it's like this woodenness where um you're so straight, doing the right thing, and I'm like, okay, okay, so this is my task, and I like, push the button, and you're like, and it's like you could pretty much be like one of those wind up wooden toys that little kids play with, right? The other thing that happens is you could turn artificial, right? So when you're being average and you're just like living your life and you're doing the same thing, and maybe you're tired, or for whatever reason you don't want to put your own self into it, and everything that you're putting out is just fake. So we're going to embrace this averageness. We're going to look at all the different parts of our lives that we see to be average, right? And we're going to say, is this acceptable? Or can we choose to be something greater? Can we choose right now to be extraordinary? Do you think that there's something that we could do, perhaps if we just allowed our mind to wander a little bit? No, don't let it wander. Yes, it's okay to wander. You see, not being average demands that we break free from old programming, things that our systems have told us, things that maybe our friends and family have told us, things that we've been telling ourselves all our lives. We now have to question them, and we have to listen to ourselves, to the truth inside ourselves. And when we have an opportunity that we see, we must release this gift of play. And we have to choose that, yes, actually, right now, play. And it's this play along the borders that allows us to explore our awesomeness. Because when we're starting to have a little idea and it starts to bubble up inside of us, and we start to realize, like, hey, this is my own uniqueness, this is me being me, and I need to play with this. So allow yourself to play with your own uniqueness, and that is how you get one step closer to finding your awesomeness, my friend. So now observe, where are the parts in your life that are maybe a little bit peculiar from the everyday, the ordinary, and you have to not be scared, right? You have to forget about this fear. You see, there's this great fear, and fear is probably the biggest, most driving force that keeps us being average. It's this fear, not that we're going to be different, but it's this fear, actually, that we're going to be a success. I don't know if you've ever thought of yourself as actually being that success. Yeah. So allow yourself, give yourself permission to play with the idea of you just being in that success, right? And it is this awesomeness that slowly, maybe it begins trickling in, and then begins flowing, and then you may begin being flooded with awesomeness as you remember that your natural state is actually awe-inspiring. And you are never able to tell yourself what is average, right? Average is something that the rest of the world tells you. You, when you remember your true self and you be chin, that you are giving yourself, become the embodiment of awesomeness. So that's just a 3-step simple formula that you can remember and anchor and go back to whenever you feel yourself drowning in this averageness and this mediocrity. And you can remember, hey, that play, show people your own style, your own uniqueness. And being true to that allows you to unleash. So I want to share with you the actual 4 pillars of awesomeness, because as we're going on this journey together, we realize that awesomeness comes in 4 different aspects, and we have to ask ourselves these 4 different questions, and we have to these 4 different leadership roles. I say leadership, but really, when you embody awesomeness, you become something much different than a leader. Because, see, a leader inspires followers. But when you are acting as a true embodiment of awesomeness, as is just a true inspirer, because you're inspiring people to awaken their own individuality and their own awesomeness inside themselves. So you become actually something much more greater than a leader. Before I share these 4 pillars with you, though, I actually want to turn it back over to Tabitha, because Tabitha actually right now, I want to congratulate her because she actually just hit a new rank in our company. She's now a producer and an official producer. So I just want everyone to just give a round of applause and celebrate Tabitha. Thank her for being the producer badass in our company, making it possible for people around the world to understand this empowering information and get connected with the technology and the mentorship that's going to allow them to embody this awesomeness. So Tabitha, can you just say something about what it feels like being a producer, and how'd you get there? Can you share a little bit about your journey to becoming an awesomeness producer?
Thank you, James. Well, I'd like to start off with, I am a new producer.
Wait, sorry, can I just jump back in here and say that is an awesome hat? Like, I'm thrilled at like what you're wearing right now.
I will never interesting. Like, bandana speech. I was like, you know what? This is me. Centric. They bring in yourself from the founder, chief executive badass, on becoming a producer in the company. Now, what does that mean to me? You know what? It's just and by working, I mean I'm serving individuals every single day and helping them to change their lives, helping them to step outside of the system introduced to originally, which is what James was just talking about earlier, enough to go after themselves. By going, I mean, like I was that day, depressed, right? And I am his all was a point for me because I went after myself again. No, I refuse to wear the bandana. I refuse to wear the bandana, be myself, and go after that awesomeness that I am. The car dancer. The one that makes people's heads turn. The person I loved. The person I was hanging on to. And when I discovered this total shortcut, I asked myself, what am I getting myself into? I was terrified. And instead of running back to my couch, where I would spend most of my time just depressed, you ever get that feeling? Instead of running back to that, I turned my fear into fuel and I just went after it. I never questioned it, not once. And I slipped that bandana on my head, the shirt that says buzzing. And I said, okay, I accept me now. Ready to be myself. I just do that. I started to, and that was it. Now, the freedom, we get to share with you, and I think that it's worth everything. So when I vehicle, they're a vehicle more phone, whatever we want, help my family. Number of individuals in third world countries right now who don't need to internet, food, clean water, medication. We are so lucky to be in this position where we are right now. And that's why I say it's my serve. That's why I'm here. I'm a producer. Great. And I'm going to continue to rank up. Great. They're signs of all the battles and refuse to bow down and said, yes, yes, I will help you. Yes, I will take you by the hand. We will lock arms. We'll align ourselves on this journey with the right people, with the right system, and we'll take off together. And that's it. That's how it feels. That's James, that's the only way I know how to answer that. This is my passion. You're my passion. You're the reason I'm here right now. You're the reason why I'm a whatever, a producer. Those are just titles. I'm here to stay, people. Doesn't matter what rank I'm at. I'm here to stay for life. I'm a lifer in this company, and I'm very passionate, and that's what I think is so awesome. I think it's so awesome that we have access to a system like this. We live in a first world country. Today, I dropped my toast butter side down on the floor, and I laughed. And I went, "Oh, first world problems. Come on, let's get to work." You ever have one of those days? Guys, we're lucky. You're you're lucky. So go out and celebrate who you are, the things that are great in your life, and celebrate your own individuality and your true awesomeness.
Yeah, so I want to point out something about why Tabitha is so successful, because success leaves clues. And Tabitha is doing things a little bit differently than most people are doing in this industry. I don't know if you've noticed that. We're both a little bit different here, the way we do things. In an industry that's wrought with fear, right? So many people in their marketing use fear tactics, the fear of missing out, how much money you could lose if you don't take action right now, the fear of living an impoverished lifestyle, and how you're not going to be able to look after your family. You're not going to be able to have time freedom if you don't take action on the total shortcut right now, or whatever the offer is. There's this fear mentality, and a lot of people make their decisions based on fear. And what Tabitha and what we like to do here, which is a little bit differently, is we inspire love, right? We allow people to remember what it is they actually truly love, and that taking action right now is just a way to get closer to that fulfillment of love, of awesomeness, of peace inside you, right? And I believe that it's this shift. From fear tactics to more of love tactics that we're going to see in marketing, in the media, that is going to be a tipping point, that is going to really act as a springboard. So many more people out in the marketplace, in the world, looking for sustainable income, are going to see that, wow, actually spreading love, positivity, good ideas in the new media is actually a way to be very successful, right? Um, so these 4 pillars of awesomeness, and once you understand these 4 pillars of awesomeness, you can really begin going down the path towards awesomeness right away, right? Anytime that you're in a state of feeling average, like, oh man, maybe I'm never gonna get that wealth, that income, or maybe I'm never going to have that emotional depth that I want to have, or maybe I'm never going to be able to learn how to solve these complex problems, or maybe I'm never just going to have the time to do what I really want to do, right? You can remember these pillars, and these 4 pillars are actually going to be um, these 4 legs of this elephant that are just going to support this massive awesomeness that's going to lead you into greater success, my friend. So these 4 pillars, right? And how I learned these is I was actually on a meditation course out in the Maharishi Vedic city in southeast Iowa. Now, I was attending this course called Invincible America, right? And this is actually where I started getting my master's in sustainable business. This is where I pioneered those metrics in sustainable business development, and how I took these sustainable metrics that people were using to build communities and rate themselves on on the sustainability of their business. I took them and adapted them for online business, and I added the invincibility theory that I was learning from Harold Harung, PhD, and other doctors, theorists at the time, and in a state of deep meditation and yoga that I was very disciplined for. I'm still super disciplined for them. I've really been in the yoga meditation practice my whole life, right? I was able to take these disciplines and using something that I learned from one of the teachers there in the course about complex adaptive systems, CAS, I was able to actually find a simple system that I could use to really allow this flow of awesomeness to manifest infinitely, as you're going to find. So yeah, complex adaptive system. It's an organizational change management class where you're learning complex master's level theory. It doesn't need to be over your head. It's actually really simple. What is complex adaptive systems? It's actually a way where you can take any complex theory and you can actually adapt it. And through divergent thinking, which is a trait of genius, you can create relations. So one such theory of the four elements, we could see the four pillars here. We draw through comparative analysis all the different associations that we find from all popular theorists across the board in relationship to these four elements. I bet you could name a few if you like to read books, if you have watched any personal development YouTube videos. It usually comes back to all theory of any that incorporates any kind of change, any kind of development, right? This is the alchemical theory relates back to the elements. So is it possible, you may ask, could we look at the elements and through comparative analysis with all of the best world's thinkers, right? You know, can we download genius into our brain, right? And just embody that awesomeness. So the first pillar here, this is really for the employee, right? This is for someone who's just like focused on tasks. Maybe you're not an employee. Maybe you own your own business. You're self-employed, but you're still kind of thinking of yourself as an employee. You're self-employed. You're employed for yourself, and you're focused on tasks, right? This is kind of like the first level of consciousness. And what we say to this people, what tasks can I do to really embody awesomeness, right? To leave my legacy. And what we share is this spiritual intelligence, right? That it's with conscious, empowering commitment to time, right? So that we can go out there and we can be a crusader, we can be a magician, right? It's this idea of bringing light forward, fire, right? We say the magician because it's like someone who creates something out of nothing, right? And you be a crusader with that something that you've created. What is something that we can create out of nothing? A blog. Yeah. Your story, content, video, media, writing, photography, right? All of the multi forms of medium that we communicate with, television, film, audio. These masterful collections of different ways that we can creatively and clearly communicate, right? It is this beginning to devote some time to this creative endeavor in which we can manifest our own legacy, right? This is the beginning part of our program. We actually teach content curation as part of our courses when you take the total shortcut below. We also have, right, it's like you have the universe to inspire you. You have books to read. You know, you are a transmitter of all things so that anytime you're learning something about your personal interests, you can turn that into a blog and create it and be one step closer to activating your awesomeness. So before I go on to pillar number 2, like I just want to say, like, do you have time that you're willing to devote to leave your legacy? Because, like, if you don't, we can stop right now. Just take the total shortcut, get to, like, making your money, and, like, that's fine. You can be average. You can take the total shortcut right now. You can start making money and you can be average, and that's okay. But if you really, truly, honestly want to unleash your awesomeness, understand and take these 4 pillars seriously. And allow these 4 pillars to actually be a delight for you, because anytime you're confused, constricted, you don't know what to do, you can return to these 4 pillars and they will guide you, right? Yeah, the first pillar, content creation. All over social media, YouTube, right? The blogosphere. You could be on national television, right? But it starts with just, beginning to tell your story about what you care about. Pillar number 2, right? So now it's like you're a small business. You have your own business. You're focused on the process of telling others about what it is that you've learned, right? Like, we share business through social media. We share business on blogs, um, throughout all of this multimedia. And the action of telling others, this is a process that actually uses intellectual intelligence, right? We have to think now. Who are the people that can benefit, right? Where do we find them, right? It's through your use of words, your storytelling, right? This is pathfinding. And this is the commitment to being coachable, right? This is where you become the reporter, the warrior, a warrior reporter. Do you understand that to open yourself up to learning and to being an open book, so that we can fill this intellectual quotient, right? So first, I talked about the spiritual quotient. You can be awesome spiritually by giving yourself time to devote to what's most important to you. And we can show that time through what's published on blogs. Second is your intelligence. You want to be intellectually awesome. And this requires being able to be coached, right? You want to be able to learn. That's why we're always reading. We're always listening to audios. We're always saying, like, hey, come to this weekend seminar, right? Where you can get around mentors, right? Hey, get on this webinar, right? Because this is an opportunity for you to learn something that, maybe is going to be a skill set that could allow you to solve a complex problem or equation that could raise your level of income, right? Because you're going to get paid via the difficulties of problems that you're able to solve. That's why we hook you up with the good mentors, get you the good information. So, pillar of awesomeness number 2, fill your mind with good stuff. So, number 1, we're filling our spirit with time that we can devote to what we're passionate about. Meanwhile, we're, like, blogging it, sharing it on social media, right? Pillar number 2, we're telling others about it, about what we're being coached about what we're learning. We're sharing what it is that we're learning. Pillar number 3 goes into our emotions, right? So we want to have awesomeness spiritually. We want to have awesomeness intellectually. We want to have awesomeness emotionally. So I want you to imagine yourself now just transformed. Just you are now a big business player, right? And you're an owner that's focused on getting value out into the marketplace, right? And here you're taking the action to get money for love, right? Not out of fear, right? We know the big business owner, right? They're just full of love. They want to get money to love. So it's this emotional intelligence, this passion, which actually is aligning with the commitment of decisiveness, right? What do you want to be decisive of? You want to be the leader lover, a leader who is just totally in the embodiment of love, right? Leading with passion, leading with love. So this is the emotional intelligence that allows you to take on this role of aligning. So really, how is it that we activate this awesomeness emotionally? Um, it's just that process of being aware, being more conscious of what brings us passion, what brings us love. And as we can continue to align ourselves more with that, uh, that's how we activate our emotional awesomeness. So, okay, I know this is the one you've all been waiting for, right? Awesomeness pillar number 4. How do we like unleash the wealth awesomeness? Like, it was like, it takes all of these three first, right? Comes from the spirit. You got to have the mind, the intellectual aspect to learn, right? So first, right, you just got to be motivated to just go out there and like produce content, tell other people about what you're learning, right? Build massive lists of subscribers, right? That's kind of how we work on the internet. And as you're getting in front of these audience members, these customers, and demonstrating to them your leadership awesomeness, people begin following you, falling in love with buying from you. And this is the natural process that leads to the fourth pillar of awesomeness, which is for the investor, right? Now, I want you to think about what you're taking all of your awesomeness, right, and investing it into. And I want you to focus on consciousness and reinvesting in what's going to allow you to live. So this is physical intelligence, right? And this is all about discipline. This is about the leadership role of modeling, right? And this is the commitment of agreeing to use other people's money like a reluctant hero king. So it's like, do you know how to build a business in 4 or 5 hours a week using other people's money? That's the total shortcut. Take it here. Like, you can actually get started for $1, and I think even if you don't like it, we'll give you $2 back. Um, but it's this embodiment of being a king, right? And maybe you're a reluctant hero because you're like, well, I have all this information. Now you've been collecting it, right? Now you have all this knowledge. You have all this time freedom because you've devoted all this time to publishing stuff on your blog. So now people, instead of spending time answering everyone's questions, you can just say, hey, go to my blog. So our answer is time freedom. And then they can get informed, educated, and decide to buy, and you can get paid right away. Intellectual aspect, right? Hit us up for some recommended reading, right? We want to connect you with mentors that are going to enliven your process and, that emotional fulfillment. Make sure that you stop doing everything that you hate right now and only focus on what you love. Take the total shortcut. And as you're getting all of this awesomeness income, you can see our income disclaimer below. Make sure you're reinvesting in what's going to allow you to truly live the life that you've always wanted to live, right? So those are the 4 pillars of awesomeness. Tabby, my friend, Miss Jasper, you know, hey, yo, I just want to say, like, if there's anything else that I can do to make your life more awesome, I want you to know that I'm here for you. You can connect with either Tabitha or myself on social media. As soon as you get started with the Total Shortcut below, you're actually going to get a one-on-one coaching call with either one of us. And yeah, so are Tabitha and I available for partnerships? We actually have a partnership program going on right now. When you choose the Total Shortcut below, you can actually get involved with Tabitha or I, building your business online, creating this lifestyle, just allowing the intelligence, right? You're actually going to become more intelligent. Can you believe that? Allowing you to become more aligned with your passion. And, you know, it's this time that we're giving you to love. So what do you get in the Total Shortcut? Just decide to buy right now. Actually, I think it's $1 trial. And you can choose to get the regular or the elite. I recommend getting the elite because of the added mentorship that is involved in the elite. So, like I was saying, it's the education, it's the intellectual quotient that's going to lead to everything else. So, my life transformed when I started going through those programs and getting that information in my head. It's actually the mentorship, putting in your, listening to your, in your earlobes, right? The brain, right? That's how it gets in through your earlobes. So pull out your credit cards right now. Choose to get the elite. Tabitha has something that she has got to say. So, I just want to hear Tabitha's story.
I am the orange bandana wearer. You never know what you're going to get. What you see is what you get, people. Okay, so I'm listening to James here. Oh, it's stuck in my hair. I'm listening to James talk about intelligence, right? And this is actually what attracted me, not the most, because coming into this, I was just very passionate. I was very, very, very emotionally attached to one idea, and that was freedom and teaching others how to be free and happy, making money, doing what they're passionate about. And I jumped in and I went, oh my gosh, there's all this brainy stuff. I'm so much more excited. Just what James was mentioning, that ear plug into your ear, or pardon me, microphone, what are they called? Headphone into my ear. Excuse my language. I'm very authentic, people. I apologize. And listening to those audios every day, and that inspired me every day. But what really I thought was cool was the many opportunities we had to win free books from the executive chief badass himself, which is the founder of our company. And I jumped on it. I went, oh my gosh, I can win a book. Okay, what do I got to do to win a book? It was really simple. All I had to do was just follow my daily instructions. I followed my daily instructions every single day. And guess what happened? On the first day, I won a book. As someone reading and loves absorbing as much information as possible, I absolutely love educating myself. It makes me feel powerful. But at the end of the day, if you're there are ways for you to grow your mind with this company. And I don't just mean with winning books. That's just a fun little thing that you can do. And you can do that right away when you join the Total Shortcut. But one of the most amazing things about what we do is it is an ongoing learning experience. I do not believe that any one point in your life do you stop learning. There is no ceiling on learning, but I will tell you right now, when it comes to learning, sky's the limit with this company. Constant opportunity. And that's just beautiful. And now I have a free book. And I can't wait to read it. So that was my fun little thing, my moment to share, as James so well put it. What you guys think of that? James the warrior reporter. What do you guys think of that? That was pretty cool. Or the transforming, you know, he transformed into a big business player. You know, or the leader lover. You know, which of these three do you most identify yourself with? What appeals to you the most? You know, are you here for a spiritual experience? Are you here for an intellectual one? Are you here, you're emotionally attached to one idea? Are you here for wealth? Why are you here? Which of the four resonates with you the most, or is it all four? You know, are you the warrior reporter? Are you transforming into a big business player? Are you transforming into a leader of love? You know, what is it? What is it that inspires you every single day? What is it that's going to get you to say yes to yourself, take a leap of faith, grab us by the hands, lock arms, and jump right in? I'm just going to leave you with, I like to leave you with little thoughts of love, little inspirational seeds of joy. I love you all and I appreciate y'all. And I'll leave it back to James. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. Just the last thing, you know, I have to leave you with is that last fourth pillar of awesomeness, discipline. And this is where 99% of people, you know, 97% of people fall off the boat. Is it's a total shortcut. And you're going to know the discipline really quick that you're going to have to practice to maintain that high level of income or that high level of lifestyle that you're looking for. And what I found is the only way that you can get yourself up to speed that you need to be is to practice discipline with a team, with a crew. So we have a crew of empowering mentors here standing by, ready to assist you unleash your awesomeness. All that's left for you to do is take the total shortcut.